Shabbat in Tzfat was a magical, mystical experience. I was still out in the streets as all the stores started to close and the streets emptied out, and you could just have this palpable feel of change in the air as everyone is kind of preparing for what was next.
I really learned a lot about Shabbat and relaxing, and always kind of thought that Jewish religions were very traditional and bogged down in writing. So to be able to just have fun and sing and relax and be with everyone.
Looking at Shabbat on the roof was pretty awe-inspiring. To be able to stand there and look at the sun going down behind the mountains, and to have everyone standing together and singing and dancing. It was just a real sense of togetherness of everyone being.
I'm really going to miss saying Shabbat Shalom to people, just passerby. That's a wonderful feeling that I didn't anticipate feeling. But it really gave me a sense of solidarity to celebrate Shabbat with these families.
In regards to the spirituality of the program, I think that it has been a more spiritual experience than like what the other groups have had, based on what I heard from my friends previously. And I think a large part of that is the special places that we go on Livnot, like just being here on the Livnot campus in Tzfat and doing Shabbat and seeing the sunset over Tzfat.
It's really relaxing. It's really calm. You see the people, all the locals. It's not tourist.
There's something in the air. I'm not sure, but Tzfat is a very special place, and it's really wonderful that Livnot has a place for people to stay here.
So the special thing about Tzfat, first and foremost, is the Livnot campus. The physical being as well as the name. I mean, you walk up and down the streets and they're like, oh, where are you from? You say, oh, I'm from wherever, Chicago, but I'm with Livnot. And they're like, oh, Livnot, 10% off. I mean, everyone knows who Livnot is, and everyone loves that you're here because you're with this organization that has done so much for this area. And it's just a whole other, it's not a hotel, it's a community, and you really feel that sense of community.
Shabbat in Tzfat was a very incredible experience. It was interesting because as Shabbat was coming, everything just sort of stopped, slowly began to peter out and stop. And the people were sitting in shops eating falafel, were talking to us about how excited they were that Shabbat was coming and how they were preparing for everything was about Shabbat, essentially. So it really got us thinking about how we were just sort of going into it, like, okay, now we're going to have Shabbat. But even the people here were making us more and more aware, and this was hours before it took place. And then with the services that we had and the lighting of the Shabbos candles and the music and watching the sunset over the hills, it was just incredible.
We were given the opportunity to have Shabbat lunch with other family members, and it was very special. I got to know Jewish families outside of the birthright community, and it was just such an insight into the Jewish life.
Shabbat here was pretty magical. I got to have lunch with Aaron's family, which was really, really wonderful, and then I took a few people from the group and we just walked around the city, and all the streets are very quiet and everything's so steeped in history that it's an experience that you can't have anywhere else.
When I got to Tzfat, I felt that I had come home early in my life. I have always explored spirituality, from a side since I was, young, maybe 13 or 14. And when I came to Tzfat and I could feel in the air all this energy, and it felt okay to say that. and I feel that I can go back to New York and be more who I am, which is a spiritual person, and I'm very grateful for that.
Shabbat and Tzfat, this is one of the things that I was most grateful for, and the note was the chance to just walk around the alleys in the evening of the Shabbat, and to hear the singing from all over the city, to hear songs that we had actually sung before, at least tunes that we had sung before. So going and sitting next to some of these large groups of men who are singing and being able to nine along, do some nigun along with them, but it felt alive in the city, and in a very calm, peaceful way. The Shabbat experience has been something that I'm definitely going to take away. This restful day, at least once a week. It's like recharging, regenerating. It's like eating on a different level.